Down by the River, a family fly fishing story. Written by Andrew Weiner, illustrated by April Chu. Art's grandpa finished loading the fishing rods into the car. Let's be sure we've got all of our gear, he said. Boots, waders, vests. Check, said Art. Rods, reels, fly boxes. Check, said Art's mom. Lemonade, PB&J, apples, chocolate chip cookies. Check, 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 Art and his mom said together. Grandpa laughed. All set then. Everybody in. They climbed into the car, Mom behind the wheel, Grandpa beside her, Art in the back. I started taking your mom fishing when she was just a young girl, Grandpa said to Art as Mom drove. Mom smiled. They were heading to the river. It was Art's favorite kind of day, a fishing day. And he liked Grandpa's stories, too. Your mom was 8, same age you are now, Art. She was a firecracker, all right. It wouldn't be a long ride to the river. Art looked out the window as they passed the golden-leaved trees. Autumn had come, but the fishing was still good. Art could already picture a big trout on the end of his line. We fished this same river, said Grandpa. Your mom had been asking to fish with me, watching me gather my tackle, looking over my shoulder as I tied flies, always asking questions. Which fly will you use? Elk hair caddis? Hare's hair ear? Can I come? I finally agreed to take her along. They arrived at their favorite spot. Made sense to learn from the man who knew, Dad. Still does, Mom said. Looks like we've got the river to ourselves. Soon they were assembling their gear, waders and boots, rods and reels. Then the air hummed with the sound of fishing lines being pulled through guides. On your 8th birthday, I surprised you with your own rod and reel, remember? Grandpa said to Mom as they worked. And waders and boots, just your size. Like these you gave me? Art asked, shuffling a bit in his big boots. Yes, sir. And we came to this river, sat and talked, watched the water. Grandpa closed his eyes for a moment as he remembered. Your mom picked the spot, and on the first cast, her very first, she caught a fish. What a beauty. And so was the fish. Oh, Dad, Mom laughed, putting her arm around his shoulders. Art looked at his rod. He'd never caught a fish on his first cast. Let's get the lay of the land, Grandpa said. A big white bird flew overhead, patiently searching the river. An osprey, Mom said. He's here to fish, too. The only sounds were the rustle of the leaves in the breeze and the gentle rippling of the stream as it flowed beneath overhanging branches and around rocks, curving around bends above and below where they stood. It was nearly as clear as a glass of water, and they could see the stones that lay below its surface. Just then there was a splash. Looks like they're feeding, Grandpa said. Could be a mighty fine day of fishing. Do you think so? Art asked eagerly. He was imagining his first perfect cast, and Grandpa smiled when he caught a beautiful fish. A small bug with delicate wings landed on Art's arm. A caddis, Mom said. Trout food. The air was full of caddis. When they dropped into the water, hungry trout gobbled them up with a splash and a slurp. They're feeding on top, said Grandpa. Mom took a fly from her box and tied it to the end of her line, and then did the same for Art. One of Grandpa's special elk hair caddis. Fools them every time. She handed another to Grandpa. He tied it on almost faster than Art could see. Mom slowly stepped into the water, took a good look around, and cast her fly. Oh boy, got one! Same as always, Grandpa said with a chuckle. She's a natural. Mom slipped her net under the fish. She held the trout gently in the water, then raised it to show Art. It's a rainbow, she said. He could see a beautiful red stripe along its silver side. She eased the fly out of the corner of its mouth and dipped the net into the water. The trout darted back into the river. There she goes. Let's give your mom some space, Art. Those deep pools upstream always hold some beautiful fish. Art and Grandpa walked up the bank and stepped into the water. They pulled line from their reels. You first, Grandpa said. Art took a deep breath. The first cast. He lifted the line from the water, let it extend behind him, and cast it forward. The fly flew straight and true, right into a tree branch above the stream. Art looked over at Grandpa and wondered if he'd ever call him a natural. Grandpa just smiled. No worries, Art. He waded across the stream and pulled the fly free. Let's move up to the next pool. I scared off any fish that were here. They waded upstream together. Did I ever tell you the story of my first fishing trip? Grandpa asked. My first fishing trip? Grandpa asked. My brother took me along with some of his friends, and the first thing I did was hook my brother on my very first cast in front of everyone. Biggest thing I ever caught. He chuckled. Art had heard the story before, lots of times, and it always made him smile. He took another deep breath and looked up the river. He saw a perfect spot by the far bank, a big rock 15 feet away. Behind it was a section of slow, calm water. He was sure trout would be there. Art lifted his line again and it uncoiled behind him. He remembered everything he'd been taught, wrist firm, line extended back in a loop behind him without hitting the water, cast forward like driving a nail. The line arced forward and the fly landed softly a few feet above the rock. It drifted with the current past the rock. There was a splash and the line went tight. "Fish on," said Grandpa. "Chip off the old block." The rod bent. Art started to reel in the fish and felt the strong tug on the end of the line. The fish darting from one side of the river to the other and back again. "Easy does it," Grandpa said. When the fish got close, he reached into the water and put his hand beneath it to gently hold it still while he removed the hook. It came out easily, and Grandpa held the fish in the water for a moment more. "It's a brown trout. You can tell by those beautiful spots on its side, 14 inches long, I guess. Good-sized fish, Art. Beautifully done." He released the fish and then put his arm around Art's shoulders and gave him a squeeze. Overhead, the osprey still circled, searching for a trout of its own. "You'll get one soon," Art called to the bird. "Grandpa, one day I'm going to tell my grandkids about fishing with you. I bet we'll be fishing right here, and it will be as nice as it is now. Just be sure to tell the good stories, Art, like this one." He smiled at Art, pulled him close, and said, "Come on, let's do it again. Maybe it's my turn." Art made a promise to himself. "I'll never forget this." And he never did.